1, 2, 3.
Oh no, are you kidding me? I took a secret route today.
You're not allowed to go over the bridge.
Why not?
I don't know, it's just a new rule that I've made up now.
Because you were not winning. I had my booty on the sofa before you.
I let you win.
You let me win.
I could beat you every time.
Or
I'm bigger,
did I
faster,
win?
and stronger.
The thing
than
is, you had like a 2-step head start too, but somehow I was on the sofa first.
I let you win.
You didn't let me
It
win.
makes for better content if you win.
How?
Because feminism.
That makes no sense.
Exactly, just like feminism. I got you! I got you! See how I got you?
Got it.
That's right, we're doing a comedy sketch today. Basically,
move over SNL because we're here now.
Basically, it's us being funny for however long this podcast goes on for. Sounds like a plan, right?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Oh,
sorry.
That's okay.
I couldn't help myself. If you're wondering what that sound is, or you want a visual cue, we got a hand pan. We're taking it upon ourselves to learn it.
The quest continues.
But enough of that. Just give you a little insight into what we're up to at the minute. Fresh out of Ibiza, back in the podcast studio, 508, repping. Alan, welcome. It's good to see you in the middle.
I'm sure you'll have lots to say today.
Rather than on the side.
What's that? You want to put your arms up here? Sure, buddy. Let's get you
Get
on.
involved. There we go.
Right,
we're ready to go.
It's like it's at a news desk.
Sideways,
Getting some papers. Yeah, because he's got swag.
Is that how you sit if you've got swag? Wow,
Yeah,
I've been sitting wrong this whole time. I'm going to start this for the rest of the podcast now.
It's dab swag.
This is how I'm sitting.
What, you sit like this? You should be sitting like this, man.
It just feels weird. It feels very weird.
It's okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Can eat soon, so it's fine.
Real soon. What's the crack today then?
What's the crack today? Well, the crack is we're going to be talking about the Popo coronation, but not the street, and also why I'm so hungry right now. I'm probably going to start slurring words, so I apologise in advance if I seem a bit. See, I did it already.
You did it already.
See, I just talked it into existence. I did that.
Self-fulfilling
prophecy.
Any words.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
That is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That was. I did it, and then I said it, and then I did it. I'm not going to slur any words. Anyways, so there's been a lot of rage on the internet at the minute concerning the Metropolitan Police, which is being
not a shock.
One, not a shock, first and foremost, but what we watched is shocking.
Yes.
And being a dog owner as well, I think anyone with compassion, even if you have pets or not, can look at that and feel pain and feel anguish watching it, because it's actually a fucking very violent, graphic incident.
Yeah.
And of course,
for context
of what we're talking about. Where was it in London? I'm
not sure actually. I don't know.
Something Towers.
I'm not sure where in London it was. The actual incident was by a canal.
Yeah, I think it was something Towers, but the name escapes me. But yeah, to watch the a police officer, someone that's meant to uphold the law and keep us safe and protected, shoot not just a man's dog, but a man's dogs.
Yeah.
Was the craziest thing that I've seen in a long time on the internet. And you can tell how crazy it is by how viral it's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of arguments saying, but the man the guy's homeless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he apparently wasn't allowed to own dogs. If you're homeless, you don't have ownership of anything anyway. But even so, that makes it okay to shoot the dogs.
It doesn't actually make any sense.
So what is that argument?
I feel like in the video as well, the dogs weren't actually doing anything. They weren't being violent. They weren't being aggressive. Like the second dog, you could see genuinely was so scared, was terrified, and he just wanted his owner.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's running to his owner, not even to the police, he's running to his owner.
Yeah, away from the threatful incident.
Yeah, they shoot him.
Yeah,
I was so shocked.
It's the equivalent of you know, we don't get it much in this country, thank God, but in America, someone running from the police and getting shot in the back, and the policeman saying, yeah, but it was threatening. Donnie was running away from you. You've shot him in the back. They shot the dog in the back.
Yeah.
Like, at what part were you scared
and
for your life?
it wasn't even like a shot to like injure the dog.
Oh no, shot to shoot to kill.
It was shoot to kill.
Yeah.
So, you know, the story doesn't really add up, because in another video they were talking about like, oh, we just want to see if your dog's injured, we just want to see if they're okay. If you're really concerned so much for the dog's safety, why did you kill it? Why did you shoot it in the head?
It went from a it's interesting, isn't it? It went from an argument of, oh, we just want to give us the dogs, we just want to check that they're okay and check for their welfare, to being murdered 2 minutes later.
By the same people.
By the same people. So what was your intention, to check the dogs? No, you were trying to take the dogs away from the man. The reason the man didn't give you the dogs is because he knew that you would not give them back afterwards. Straight up. And instead, you didn't get what you wanted. So instead, they were the aggressors the whole time. The guy was trying to walk away from them. There was like, what, 5, 6, 7 police in the end?
Yeah.
One with a gun, one with a taser out, following him down the canal. The guy's literally saying, leave me alone, leave me alone.
Yeah.
They're following him. And what happens next? They're shouting at him. The dogs, bless them, even in that thing, they're barking, right?
Which is normal.
But anyone that knows anything about dogs, assuming these policemen have had proper training, because I'm sure they get trained on aggressive dogs and aggressive animals.
You'd think that, but
they must do. I've not been through the academy, but I'm pretty sure that's in their training, right? You can tell by looking at them dogs that they're not aggressive. They're barking, but they're wagging their tails. Aggressive dogs do not bark and wag.
Yeah.
If a dog's barking at you, you know about it.
Yeah.
It stands there firm, its tail is down, and it's looking like it wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah,
The dog's thinking
baring
like,
its teeth.
You know, it's a bit confused. You're shouting at my owner. The owner's kind of just chilling. They're just like thinking, oh, is it playtime or something? He was only a puppy as well, one of them, 12 months, 10 months.
No.
Yeah, 10 months. It was like, he was a big dog, but it was only a puppy.
What?
And they fucking shot him, man. It infuriates me. Like, I actually feel so sorry for that man. That was probably like his lifeline. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's homeless as well.
Like, one thing you can really appreciate about homeless people is that the ones that have dogs, the dog looks clean. Like, the dog looks like it's not. Yeah, like they must give everything that they get to the dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The dog's always happy as Larry. You never see a miserable dog with a homeless person.
No.
They're always just there chilling, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and then there's another video of them on the train, probably before this incident happened, and the dogs are just sat there sitting on the seats, minding their own business. Like, he's kissing them, and you can see there's so much love
calm,
there.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that these are aggressive dogs.
Yeah.
And even if they are, or that, you know, you can deem that situation, yeah, these dogs were aggressive.
Not sure what planet you would be on to even think that.
The police are around 6 foot away from the dogs, right? At the point that the owner, who's got the dogs on the leash, somehow loses control of the dogs and they go for the police, you have the time to shoot them. But not once do the dogs even go for you on the leash. You literally shoot them whilst they're trying to get away. The first dog, I don't even know why they shot it.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
He just came over and shot it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was going. There was no point in that video did I think, oh shit, these dogs are gonna go for it. Someone.
No. But the thing is, you know, the dogs are not even attacking you. They're not doing anything. They're just there. Yeah, like you said, they're barking, they're wagging their tails, but there was no reason to shoot them.
It's mad.
You know, and there's definitely no reason to shoot the second dog. The second dog is attached to the first dog, which is dead on the floor.
Yes.
And the owner's been tasered, and the dog's running away from you. So why did you think that it was a good idea to shoot the dog? Like, what's the justification? I just want to know what the incident report's going to say. You know, when they go back to the office, like, what exactly are you writing on that piece of paper to justify what you've done?
Concern for my safety and the safety
which
of
was
my
not affected at any point.
Officers. The safest thing to do was to, you know,
shoot the dogs,
kill the dogs.
And the thing is, you know, if that was a human, you don't go for the kill shot. You know, normally you injure them.
To be fair, the police do. If they're threatened for their life, then they're authorized to kill them.
What? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because, you know, threatened for my life is subjective now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm sat here, you're threatening me. I'm scared for my safety.
That's just so stupid.
Do you know what I mean? It's subjective,
so
isn't it?
Stupid.
It's subjective. But when, you know, the age of technology where everyone's got a camera phone, there's the video evidence.
Yeah.
So the police report's going to be this, and then that video evidence that everyone can fucking see.
Yeah.
What happened.
Yeah.
But the question is, what's going to come from it? Is that police officer going to get suspended or, lose his job?
I should
Probably
hope
not.
so.
Is the Met going to get fined for it? Is there going to be some sort
If
of
the
legal
RSPCA is not
reform?
rioting about this, I'll be shocked. Because, the reality is it's their job to check the welfare of animals. So why are the police getting involved? If you're genuinely so concerned for these dog safety, call the RSPCA. They'll go and investigate. They'll go assess the situation. But, the reality is, obviously, they were insulting that man's intelligence by saying, oh, we just want to check that the dogs are okay. Obviously, the dogs are fine.
Yeah.
It's like you said, they just wanted to take the dogs and find like a reason, like a little door opening, thinking he's an idiot. Yeah. But if you had just spoken to him with respect and explained the situation, perhaps that situation could have gone differently. Because I think what led to it was, I saw like another video where a woman was screeching at this man.
I wish she was screaming. It was difficult to. I think my ears are still bleeding.
Where she's like screaming or screeching at the at this man with the dogs. And she also had a dog. So I think maybe the dog's leads got tangled or something, or one of the dogs barked at it, which I think, to be fair, is normal for dogs to bark each other.
Yes.
Like, how many times have your dogs barked at dogs?
The chihuahuas bark at everyone.
Like, everyone, everything.
They wouldn't dare bite someone.
No.
They don't dare bite another dog.
No, I feel like it's very normal. And even also other people's dogs. We always see other people's dogs, like, barking at other dogs. I feel like it's a very common thing. So this woman's obviously gone mental, and she's the one that's made the report.
Well, apparently she fell over or something.
Yeah, but she fell over because of the dog.
Because the leads got tangled. She was obviously messing around. You could see she was crazy anyway. And then she's gone and rang the police and said that her dog got attacked,
which is absolute bollocks.
So on the grounds of someone ringing and saying their dog got attacked, you've sent like 7 officers, one with a gun, one with a taser, to a guy walking his dog. And that's not even normal. You send 1 or 2 officers, if that,
and unarmed as well.
It's fucking crazy. But you know what it is? Because of the breed of dogs, I think they were like a pit staffy mix or something like that. Because it's that breed, is labeled a dangerous breed. The police takes like some heavy-handed action towards them, because they just assume like, people that look a bit like that. I don't no idea what that was. I hope it was not a ghost.
It's definitely a ghost.
People that look a bit like that have dogs like that, the dogs must be dangerous. It's kind of like they give a guilty until proven innocent to the dogs, and even then they're still like, oh my god, gotta handle them with care. Like,
yeah, it's just sad. It's so sad, and I really, really, really hope that these petitions do something, because I feel like the Met Police are getting a little bit out of hand. They're getting a little too big for their boots.
But this is the thing, innit? This is like the overreach of government. All the Met Police are in London is kind of like the
gangsters,
the right arm gangsters of the mafia, or sorry, the government, and they just execute on their whims and their laws, and their narrative, in a sense. They've essentially made it illegal to protest now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny, actually.
They've got the rights now to say you're causing a public nuisance, so you can't protest. Yeah. Well, that's subjective as well, because one, isn't the aim of a protest to kind of cause some sort of disturbance or nuisance? Exactly.
So you've removed the actual purpose of a protest, so that if anyone protests, you're not allowed to do that.
Because it's like, all right, cool. So a public nuisance, let's say there's too many people and they're all making noise. We'll do a silent protest then. Thousands of people in the street. That's still a nuisance, though, isn't it? Because you'll probably be cutting up traffic. It's blocking off the pavement, so people can't go into shops and shit. So effectively, anything with a large group of people is now, or can now, be outlawed.
And the sad thing is, this happened right under our face, like under our noses, right in front of our faces, and nothing was done about it. I think the reality is nothing could have been done about it. Was it Preeti Patel that brought it in?
Yeah. And when did she bring that in? Or when was that start? Did that start to get pushed through Parliament?
Around about lockdown times.
Yeah, exactly. When everyone was distracted with the TV and how bad things and how many people were going to die.
Sliding in these laws.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They use the crisis, for a lot of things. But one of the things is to slide through these laws that take a lot more of our freedoms away.
Yeah, people don't realise it. And the interesting thing is, the coronation happened last weekend, and people had rape alarms taken off them. Because they could cause a nuisance or a disturbance to the coronation. Like, excuse me, why do you think my safety is not important anymore because the king's getting crowned or whatever? Like, what in the bollocks is this?
We live in topsy-turvy backwards land, don't we?
We live in, the monarchy are everything, and you guys are peasants, and you shall do whatever the monarchy requires.
It's actually like an episode of Game of Thrones, like how they used to treat the peasants.
Yes.
what that was, and you watched that, I
Yes.
thought, you know, it's a story, it's far-fetched. This is probably what it was like back then with the monarchy and the royals and people like that, where like, you know, the knights come through and shove people out the way so the royal carriage can come through. Anyone that has any descent to the royals gets fucking taken away, and you don't know what happens to them.
Yeah.
That shit's happening now. What happened to them? The 5 protesters? They got arrested before they even went to the protest.
That makes no sense.
Like, that's thought crime, no?
Yeah.
For something that's not even a crime.
Protesting it's that Minority Report. It's like a Minority Report.
Exactly like that.
Where they like figure out who's going to commit the crime and go and arrest them before they've done it. But it's like, this person's not even done the crime yet.
But if we live in a democracy, which apparently we do, I don't personally think that's the case, and I don't think in my lifetime has ever been the case, and probably ever has it been the case. But that's what they tell us to keep us,
keep us chill,
docile, happy, content. Where was my trail of thought going? What did you just say?
We're not in a democracy.
We're not in a democracy. The protests should be legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not inciting violence or causing damage to public or private property, then go ahead and do your thing. It's written in the human rights. It's law. So not only are they they've diminished democracy, but they're going against our human rights now.
Yeah, because they've also chosen how you can protest, or they've set out guidelines like you're not allowed to link arms to another person, which is interesting. Because I'm sorry, like what's
why that is?
Why?
Because it's hard. You can't arrest people that link their arms together.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting the way things are going. And you know what this kind of tells me? This kind of tells me that, they're planning on doing shit that's going to require people to protest. And they want people to protest.
Yeah, 200%.
That's what that tells me. Because they always know what's about to pop off before it pops off.
Well, 2020 happened. What happened? Part of the country or part of the world believed in it. The other part didn't believe it, and some of them people took to the streets.
And interestingly enough, now it's coming out that it was all fake anyway.
But that's another story for another podcast. Don't cancel us. So that whole period was a test net.
Yeah.
The system that they're bringing in didn't start from that, but that was like their beta test to see like how the system will go and who will revolt and who will go along with it. Now that they know, they've adjusted by putting the right laws in place to stop the dissent, to stop the protest, to stop anyone from being able to speak up. Because if you speak up, you get censored. If you keep speaking up, you get arrested.
And they've shown that, it doesn't matter who you are, they will censor you.
Oh, yeah.
Doctors, highly educated doctors, highly educated professionals who are like experts in their field.
People that are meant to be speaking on said topics
have been told to shut up.
Are not allowed to, because it's against their ideas and their narrative. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah, it's a dictatorship.
But yeah, it's crazy to, it's a funny one, the coronation. Obviously, we didn't watch it. We've seen highlights of it.
Yeah.
And I always find it so interesting, especially like with the Queen's funeral and the Jubilee. She had a Jubilee that just went, was it the year before?
I think it was a 70 years.
It's so intriguing to just watch these people come out in their thousands and, stand around and just have like a mini
what's
party
wild?
For no reason.
Like where Buckingham Palace is, and then there's that long road that goes all the way to the back. You can see. That was full of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just genuinely curious, like if you love the royals that much, why you would want to be at the end of that queue? Like you can't see anything. You're like, what are you doing? You're just standing.
It's just for
You're
clout,
standing around in London.
It's for like the weakest clout ever.
It's so lame. Like, what are you doing? Go home and watch it on TV if you like it that much.
Like you're trying to flex. Like, I went to Buckingham Palace for the coronation. Or you stood.
Like you didn't even get a picture of anything. You didn't even see the king.
Like, well done. That's what they're doing. They're literally like camped out on trees. I see this interview. This guy was going around interviewing people, and he was like, "Oh, what do you think of the royals?" And the woman's argument was something like along the lines of, I paraphrase, "Oh, I'd like to see you do." He wasn't even like disparaging them or going against them or anything. She just like started atting him and be like, "Oh, I'd like to see you do their job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week." Instantly, I'm thinking, nobody works 24 hours, 7 days a week.
And oh no, it's so hard being so rich and being waited on hand and foot 24/7.
But this is the thing. He followed that up with, "Oh, what did they do?" She couldn't answer.
Shock.
What? So you couldn't do that 24 hours, 7 days a week. Oh, what is it that they do? Her reply was, "Well." and then the chick that she with, because this is an older woman, maybe like 60s, she was with a younger woman, maybe around 30s. And I'm assuming it was mother and daughter. So the interviewer started speaking to the other woman, and basically she was saying like, oh, you know, this is just English culture. This is what we do. Some other people do have their culture. We have ours. So the epitome of English culture is what? Is going to like love the royals blindly for not even knowing what they do, and you know, following them to the grave, or following them to the coronation, or following them wherever they go, and spending, you know, time out of your weekend or whatever day of the week it is to go and stand around and wave your Great Britain flag and, you know, say how much you love the royals to everyone around you, but you don't know what they do. How can you love someone and you can't even say what they do?
It's delusion.
They're
all
so
hypnotized, brainwashed, delusional, got nothing else to focus on. And you know what's wild to me? That they had like, I think they have like a gospel choir or like some people of color singing in the church, and I was like, Charles, you think you're smart? You think you're smart? You think I see what you're doing here? You're trying to get the diversity vote, but I'm sorry, sir, you did not get the diversity vote. Like, y'all didn't like Meghan, y'all killed Diana.
For what? Speaking the truth.
But speaking the truth, but also she was dating. Is it Dodie I fired?
Yeah.
And you
can't be having a muzzy in the royals.
Can't be having a muzzy. Can't be having a brown person in the royals. And you know,
no.
See how that ended. And you know, it's just funny. It's funny that they're just trying to manipulate in every little way that they possibly can, and every little group that they possibly can. It's like, sorry, I'm not buying it.
Nah.
And my vote is not for sale. You do not get my support. I'm sorry.
Sorry. This is the craziest thing. The monarchy, head of state in this country. But what do they actually do?
Nothing. They go around to pubs trying to see what the average person does and pull a pint. I saw a video of like Kate and William in a pub pulling a pint. And I was just thinking, like, why have you chosen to do this? Like, what is the purpose of you doing this?
It's mental.
But apparently after this is kind of funny. Apparently after the camera's cut, he apparently asked if he could take the peg off and peg someone with it.
Oh my god!
I was like, that's classy.
Nice.
See what you're into.
Innit?
Nice one, Kate.
Okay. Say no more.
Say less.
Legit. It's just funny, and it's like when the Queen died, and Charles. I don't like saying the K word because, you know, he's not my king.
Literally.
Charles, inbred big-eared mofo that he is, there was an article that came out basically saying that he wasn't going to pay any tax on his inheritance.
Oh yeah.
Right? And it followed up with the reasoning, which was because taxation erodes wealth and we have to protect the royals' wealth. All right, so you know that taxation erodes the wealth of people. Are you telling us the reason for tax?
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So, but we don't want to erode their tax, but everyone else in the country can have their wealth eroded.
But you know,
and where does it go? To the royals.
Bollocks. Absolute bollocks.
But
so technically, that's not even your money. That's our money.
They sit on gold. They sit on pearls. They sit on diamonds. They sit on precious art. You know, 5% of the land.
All stolen.
And it's all paid for by us. And you've got people out in the street saying how much they love them.
And how much did they spend on the coronation?
130 million.
Was it 130 billion? No, was it
million? Yeah.
Was it 250 million? It was
150 to one. Who knows?
It was a lot. It was a lot. But you know,
3-digit mills.
Imagine if you did not spend that money on the coronation and how much you could give up to like people in the country. Like, you know, surely a real king who really cares for his people would like just, you know, think actually.
But you wouldn't have half the wealth that you had. You'd make sure that the kingdom remained united, because at the minute it's the most ununited kingdom of all time.
Yeah.
And you'd spend the money, you know, helping the government out because they clearly are underfunded, and or the money's going to the wrong places for some reason.
I don't know if the government's underfunded.
# corruption.
Yeah, I think that's the real problem with the government. I don't think the government's underfunded. I just think they're pocketing it themselves in clever ways. Like, think of how much money they wasted on PPE.
Yeah.
Like, and it was to people that were not actually supplying anything. Like, oh, it's this company that we've just set up, and here you go, here's funding for something that no one's ever seen.
That's it. It was like Matty Hancock's pub landlord.
Yeah.
One of the deals for PPE. And he's like, this bro's never supplied this in his life. Obviously, he was like, oh, I know that there's going to be a lot of money to be made here. You give me a card and I'll give you the deal.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's only one of the things we know about. Imagine how much more there is out there that people have done. So, the corruption is high in this country. And I think the media is just very good at hiding it and people are blind to it. But the reality is, I think if people knew exactly what was happening in this country and knew the details of it and the extent of it, there would be riots.
It's funny because
I would expect there to be riots.
Yeah, you would expect it, but people are so docile, thick, and blind that they just don't. You know what? Everyone's too distracted to even notice, let alone care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem. They just don't care.
Everyone's trapped in the 9 to 5. Got to pay my bills. Got to get home. Got to do this. Got to do that. And the reality is, people actually probably don't have time to think about it. And when they do have time to think about anything, they probably don't want to. Because their day-to-day lives are so chaotic and so hectic, and there's so much going on. They're
so stressed already.
Yeah.
We don't need the added stress of like seeing how fucked up the world is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's pretend everything else is fine. It's only my life that's fucked up because I can't handle that as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even handling this.
Know.
Do you know what I mean? I'm suppressing everything that I've got. I'm going out drinking. I'm taking drugs. I'm blinding myself with this entertainment and that. It's fuckeries.
Yeah.
It's actually a fuckery.
Yeah, it's true.
It's actually a fuckery. But yeah, these like in the coronation. Did you see the clip of someone dressed which looks like the Grim Reaper?
Oh my god, I did see this.
Past?
I actually did see this.
Like,
what was that about?
Explain it, because there's not even anything going on there, but it's clearly a black cloaked figure that has no.
It's just weird.
No place there. Like, what in the Satanism?
Some weird rituals going on behind her, and I don't care what anyone tells me. I think that's going on.
Yeah, and also the coronation was 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days after Lizzie popped her clogs.
Interesting.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, absolutely not. And you know what I think it is? I think it's really naive. People are like, oh, I don't want to believe the Illuminati. I don't want to believe this. Yeah, don't believe that shit. Fine, whatever. But I think it's really naive to think that that kings and queens and people in these circles hundreds of years ago didn't get involved in these type of things, or didn't do ceremonies like this, didn't do child sacrifice, didn't do that kind of thing. It's very naive to think that. The shit you see in Game of Thrones, they didn't just think that out of thin air. Yeah, that shit happened in history, but you probably just don't know about it because you haven't studied it to that extent, or it wasn't written as much.
Child sacrifices happened in literally
all cultures,
civilizations for all our known history.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is it not happening now?
Exactly. I think it's incredibly naive to think that these rituals and these things that are not even just necessarily child sacrifice, but other weird rituals, like black magic is a real thing. People talk about it. It exists in all cultures.
They openly talk about it now.
Yeah,
you can find literal celebrities talking about how they use black magic to get where they are.
Yeah,
they say it with their whole chest.
Yeah,
but people just hear it but don't.
Yeah, it goes in one ear out the other. They can't process the information. It's just
it's the weirdest thing.
So yeah, it's interesting. The Grim Reaper thing doesn't shock me. I think it's interesting that's also made it onto the internet, because in a way they want you to know.
Yeah. They got to show you, innit?
Because surely with the power that the royals have, they could take anything off.
Yeah.
Anywhere. If they really wanted, it's their country.
Yeah.
They've banned from certain books being sold in this country because it puts them in a negative light. So you're telling me if they couldn't take that video off the internet, that makes them look super dodgy? Of course they can. They want you to see it. They want you to know, actually, this is what we're doing. And technically, because you've seen it now, you're aware and you've consented to it.
Yeah. Because what's it called? Like karmic retribution or something. They show us.
Yes, so that if anything happens,
so they don't receive bad karma back, because by showing us and us not doing anything, we consent to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they believe. It's not how karma works, but anyway,
interesting.
Topic for another story. And it's just crazy. It's actually just crazy. But you know what? If you love the royals, so be it. But you're gonna be very disappointed very soon when everything unravels and everyone is told about exactly what they're up to. Because it is all going to happen by design again. All the outflow of the truth is by design, just to crumple society.
Interesting, yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I don't really feel like Charles wants to be king.
Yeah, and you know what's
funny? He doesn't look happy.
The last two King Charleses got beheaded.
Oh yes.
So let's see if history repeats.
Yeah.
For a third time.
Plot thickens. I don't know if the beheading will happen, but maybe he won't make it. And you know what? This is actually kind of funny. But did you see that video of, what's her name, Camilla, when she gets the crown put on her head? And there's a meme going around where she's so gassed she made it from side chick to queen. Tell me it's not a Game of Thrones episode. Tell me it's not a Game of Thrones episode. Like, it's everything is actually a Game of Thrones episode.
The whole thing's Game of Thrones. The whole life has just been Game of Thrones for like the last
like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was good. Before the last season. Bastards. They ruined it. They ruined it.
No spoilers.
Yeah, just in case you've not seen it. But if you haven't seen it, like, who are you?
Do you even TV, bro?
Do you even season, bro? So yeah, you know, I don't think Charles is going to be king for that long.
Who's meant to come after him?
Is it not? I don't know. William?
Yeah, and do you know what else was wild about the whole coronation situation? That, like, what's his name? Harry came in a suit. He didn't have any of his like official clothing on.
Yeah.
But Prince Andrew, is it Andrew?
Yeah.
The pedo.
Yeah.
Came.
Prince
Pedo came in like the full attire. I'm like, sorry? Did you guys not pay £12 million to settle his case? If he was innocent, why don't you just let it play out? This just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It's just question marks, isn't it?
It's just wild. The whole situation is wild.
Question marks. But why do they protect him? Because they're all in the same club, all in the same gang, doing the same shit.
But it's interesting because, you know, you would think that they would protect Harry and Meghan because when they moved to America or Canada or wherever it was they went first. I think it was Canada they went first.
Yeah.
They removed all their security detail.
Yeah, probably because they wanted them to die.
That's so savage. Imagine knowing that your own family's doing that to you.
I'm telling you, I want Harry to just flip out one day and just spill the beans on the fam because he's got everything.
He's got all the details.
Like I don't know how they've got William. So like they killed your mum, bro. You're just gonna ignore that. They actually just ignore the fact that they've killed their mum. Even Harry to an extent. I don't like both of them really. If it was me in my shoes, I wouldn't care if they were gonna assassinate me after. I'd be like, fuck that. You just killed my mum. I'll tell the world.
I saw a thing on the internet. I mean, he kind of has said that ish. That he knows that his mum was like murdered, and the reason that he left is because he doesn't want the same thing to happen to Meghan because of how much the media hated them. There's a lot going on about that. I've not really followed it. I've not really like read much about it, but there's been loads of things going on because obviously he's brought a book out now. I think he did an interview where he said that we never said the media was racist or something like that. So he's like, there's a bit of question marks going on in that arena. I don't really know what they're doing, but I did see something actually a while ago. It was like an article that came up that someone claimed that he was actually Prince Harry.
Right. Oh, yeah. And they got swapped at birth or something. Not at birth, but when they were
like 8 years old or something. Because the original Prince Harry was getting out of hand, and he kept saying stuff because apparently Charles isn't his dad. Now, this is obviously just what I've read on the internet in an article. It was actually on a newspaper. But basically what had happened is that when he was like 8-ish, he was just spilling all the beans. He was getting out of hand. They couldn't control him. So they swapped him with someone, with like a lord's son who looked very much like him. And basically his real dad is actually someone else.
Right.
And there's like a picture of, I think he's also someone royal, but potentially from another country. And they couldn't deal with that scandal. So they just put someone in who looks very similar to him. And then I think
easy to do because they're all inbred.
So yeah, and I think did he get murdered or he ended up killing himself or something? I don't think he's alive anymore. When he got to like the age of 20 something, I think he was finished. Okay. But it's interesting that like that was happening.
Yeah.
So another question mark, probably another reason to dead Diana is if that is true, and that he isn't their son or his son.
The illegitimate bastard.
Yeah,
son.
because what would you do if you're the royals? They care all about how everything looks.
Yeah.
They've got to present it, like we can't have any scandals. We've got to be perfect all the time. Yeah. Look at the way they dress, look at the way they speak, look at the tiniest things that they care about. Like, it's ridiculous. And all these traditions they've got as well. So imagine, like, what would you do in that situation if you were the queen? You'd be like, cool, let's swap him out. We'll send him somewhere.
Unalive him somewhere.
And we'll crack on and we'll carry on pretending that he's your son. So, it kind of benefits them actually if he but I guess the real Harry, no, the Harry that they have now, if he isn't the real Harry, well, he also knows the truth. Which is also a problem. So now Meghan will probably know the truth too, because, their husband and wife is not going to keep secrets from her. So interesting, a lot of interesting things. So whether that's true or not, I don't know, because again, it was in an article. But, a little bit of food for thought. And it just kind of shows that, anything is possible with the royals.
Anything is.
Anything is.
I think in our lifetime, though, I don't see us having a monarchy. I can't tell you when it's going to be, but I think
You
we'll
think
see the day where
it'll get
the royals get
abolished?
abolished.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the younger generation actually don't care for the royals, and I think that
Something like 40%, I think.
yeah, and I think the reality is that people are realizing how much they cost and how much they cost us. And I think the way with the climate is going in this country.
Oh, but they bring in so much tourism.
Oh, please. We can keep the palace.
They bloody would, because there's fuck all else you'd come to England for.
not
Especially
the
now.
weather.
Come to London where a phone gets stolen every 2 minutes on the streets. Great one.
But palace is still going to be there. People. The thing is, you come to the UK, and yeah, the royals bring in tourism, but you don't actually see the royals. You see their buildings. I mean. You
see the buildings.
So what are they there for? They're the ones taking up all the money.
It's like the Eiffel Tower in Paris. You don't go to find the builder and find the architect. Exactly. You go to the
you just
building.
Go to look at the building.
Same with the palace.
Exactly. So, I think potentially, if the financial crisis and the climate keeps going the way that it is, and it gets to a point where actually we're being taxed to fund them even further, because I imagine this will continue for a very long time. I think people will get to a point where like, actually, no, we don't want to do this anymore. And we don't want to give our money to the royals because it doesn't actually benefit us. Like all the money they're bringing in, where is it going? Because I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Nope.
Are you getting it? No. So, that 40% gets to like 60% and 80%, and all of a sudden there's going to be royals no more.
Well, this is the thing anyway. With them polls, they're always under-exaggerated when it's like against the narrative. Do you know what I mean? So, if it's 40%, at least add another 50%, so that's 60%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more than half easy. I don't know
anyone that loves the royals.
That's young that says they love the royals. They might be indifferent about it, but the majority of people I know are like, fuck them.
What I've seen is that a lot of the younger people will have like their family might support the royals or like be throwing these coronation parties, and they go into them because it's family event, but like I don't support them.
Yeah, 100%.
I just say because there's cake.
That's the thing, because Lizzie was like what, 86?
96.
96.
I think she was 96.
Right, so like most people's parents and grandparents lived through her becoming queen very young and her whole entire reign.
So that's why they support
So there's a lot of fucking nostalgia there. There's a lot of like this is inbred in their culture, in their upbringing, what they did, and the further in time you go back, the more British things were.
Yeah.
So they've got a real love for the monarchy. I'd imagine there was portraits in schools. You have the day off to go to the Jubilees and all that BS. And, it was a massive street parties, everything. Obviously, now that still does go on, but I imagine it's actually a lot toned down.
Well, I think there's an element of like, other cultures have integrated into the UK.
Yeah.
They don't really... Some people do care for it. Other people don't really care for it.
It's all those brown people coming to the UK, and they know exactly what the royals are about.
No, but I mean as in like, well, yeah, they do actually. We know what you did to us.
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm sorry. Anyone of colour supporting the royals, I'm just going to ask, are you okay? Like, are you okay?
For real.
Because I don't understand that. But, the reality is we've integrated into the culture over here. But a lot of us are not going to be doing coronation parties because why would we? Should we start throwing colonization parties too?
Exactly.
Like, it makes no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Celebrating the people that slaughtered people, raped and pillaged countries,
stole from your country, took your country, took the liberties all day, every day from you and your people. I'm sorry, it's a no.
The funniest thing is, it wasn't that long ago that the United Kingdom was the British Empire.
Yeah, it's true.
The British Empire obviously collapsed. You think that mentality collapsed with it? No, of course it didn't. No. The royals are still, the people that are in charge are still in charge now.
Yeah. And that's why, what I was saying is that, like, these parties and these events and these things are still celebrated, but you'll notice in this, like, slightly more remote areas where it's not as ethnically dense.
Yeah.
You'll know the places I'm talking about, where they've got the flags outside and it's like, yeah, we're supporting. And, so lots of people do celebrate it still, but, the reality is Lizzie's gone now.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, people had love for Lizzie, but Charles,
I don't think anyone.
No one's ever had love for Charles. He cheated on
Diana, who was the most loved.
Yeah, which he was the most loved person probably in the whole of the royals.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Debatedly between the Queen and her, some people are Team D, some are Team L.
Yeah, but a lot of that was just media manipulation. I feel like if people knew the true story, they would just be like, "Nah, how could you do that to her?"
Yeah. So even for the people that love the royals, I don't think inherently they might not admit it, but they don't have any love for Charles. It's
No.
more the monarchy.
Yeah,
Do you know
and
what I
what
mean?
it stands
Yeah.
for, and oh, we've got a king and a queen.
Yeah, yeah, and this new face they brought in is not it.
No, and you know what's wild? It's wild that like he's been allowed to remarry and also marry a divorcee. You know, that's wild.
In a Christian country.
Yeah, because you know, I think my mum was telling me that there was another someone in the royal family, and he was married, and he fell in love with a married woman. I'm gonna have to research this because I don't actually know who it was. But mum was telling me that because she remembered this, and he remarried. No, and he was married and she was married, and he basically fell in love with this married woman.
Yeah.
And wanted to divorce his like wife in the royal family, whoever she was, and marry this other woman, and he had to give up all his titles.
Mad.
So that he could have a relationship with this woman, and he did. He gave it all up.
Must have been some bum ass diggity.
and you know he married her, and they went and lived somewhere else, like in another country. They like rode off into the sunset. But the thing is,
fuck your royal titles. I'm off with this one.
Yeah, because he wasn't allowed to maintain his. It was either you keep your titles, or you marry this woman. And he was like, "I'll marry the woman. I don't want the titles," and he gave them up. You know, so it's interesting that Charles hasn't had to do that. You know, he cheated on Diana. It's very well known. Camilla was also married. And the thing that I don't get, if you guys knew each other and you liked each other, why don't you just get married together in the first place?
Like you could have, yeah.
It's Game of Thrones. I'm telling you, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was for status and clout and everything else that came with Diana, because she was from a prestigious, you know, an established family, really prestigious, whatever. And that's what he wanted. She looked great on the arm.
Yeah.
But the reality was, he never actually wanted her. That was, he just did that for, you know, strategy.
It's true.
Optics, all of that.
Optics, all of that.
All of that.
But really, it all just boils down to one thing, you know, the Met, the royals, the government, politics, everyone that's in charge, everyone that's meant to be keeping our society together, they're just violating us. They're just violating us on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And for the most part, everyone is just
taking it.
Just like we're just bending over and going,
I love it.
Go on, right in here.
You want something else?
I'm used to it now. You've been fucking me all my life.
But that's the thing, you know, if your entire existence that's just been what you've experienced, then you would think not to even dream of anything other than that.
Yeah.
Because you think, well, that can't happen. This is just how it is. This is how things are. But you know what else I've seen that is a bit of a violation, or a lot of a violation, and I've seen a few of these type of incidents on social media, and these are kind of where like women go to concerts. They get on stage with their favorite rapper or singer,
Chris Brown,
and they get the whiny diny down, and the video goes viral. And I saw one the other day. I'll play it for you because it's the man's reaction that's funny, but obviously expected. And it's basically where a woman goes to a concert and she's whining on some rapper. For context,
what's the rapper? Who's the rapper? What's the rapper?
Dexter Daps.
Oh yeah, I listen to all his music.
I have no idea who he is, I'll be honest. Clue. Not a clue. But here we go.
Oh, okay, so she's winding up on him.
She's doing the whole...
Right. Your bumper clap. Your bumper clap. You know, any Rasta saying bumper clap that many times is pissed off.
Do you know what I mean?
Every other word, bumper clap.
Fuming.
Bumper clap.
Fuming. And there was also that other video where the chick went onto a Chris Brown concert, was getting all sexy on him. And she was getting all sexy on him. And then the boyfriend saw the video because the video went viral and he dumped her.
I don't see anything wrong with any of that. I support that.
I support that
wholeheartedly.
Dumping. I support that.
Yeah,
dumping.
that is a sufficient, well justified, timely dumping.
I agree.
Like from the girl's point of view.
What are you doing?
Nah, but from the girl's point of view, right? A celebrity, you got the chance to dance up on a celebrity, right? You know, these girls, I guess, say you're at a Chris Brown concert, you probably idolize him. You think like, oh my God, I'd love to kiss him. I'd love to shag him. You know, one of them ones. Probably was your crush when you were younger as well. Whatever. Don't get it, but that's people idolize weird people. Do you know what I mean? She's got this opportunity to dance on him. She's thinking like, oh, well, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. This is like winning the lottery. You know, what's the odds that you're the person chosen to do that? And she's gone for the clout. She's gone for the memory. She's gone for the, oh, I can say I danced up on Chris Brown.
So it tells me you didn't really like rate your partner.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Your relationship was not real.
No, you know what it is? Fuck knows. Let's assume that their relationship was perfect. They loved each other. Some people have it in them to have all of their logic, all of their morals, and all of like their essence of who they are overridden by these people they put on pedestals. That's how dangerous these people are, because people that idolize people will do anything for them. Think about it. That's what celebrities are. They put these people on these idols for us to worship. They're false gods. What does it say in the Bible? What does it say in holy text? Don't bow down to false idols. That's all celebrities are, false idols. Why are you worshipping these people that actually don't bring any value to your life?
Yeah, you've forgotten. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's actually facts, because I know of people who've like joined cults and like forgotten their families because they're part of this cult and they believe this leader, and done all sorts of wild shit to like cater to this person.
Yeah.
And they'll do whatever the person says, even though they do love their partner. In this instance, though, I'm not sensing that. I'm sensing she saw Chris Brown.
She just wanted some brown dick.
Basically, yeah. She just thought, yeah, I'm gonna get up on that, and
so
didn't even like think once about her relationship or her partner. And the thing is,
imagine throwing away your relationship for like a 1 minute.
But the thing is, how can anyone argue that that's okay because it's a celebrity? I'm sorry, is it not another? It's still another person. Like,
that's the thing. They don't even see them as people.
Like, it's just wild. What do you mean it's a celebrity? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's another person. You've disrespected the boundaries and the sanctity of your relationship to dance with a celebrity who is just another person. It doesn't make
just a bit more famous.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. Red card.
It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because it's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
That's why. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. I just don't get it, and I don't get like how any of the girls can justify it. Like,
because they're all in the same boat. They're all just clout chasers.
Yeah.
They're all like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. It's only a dance. If you've got a man dancing with any gender like that, not on.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's just a dance, babe.
It's not just a dance. You're dancing sexually with another man. It might not mean nothing to you, but it's the optics of it, and it's like you don't know what his intention is. It's the energy of it as well.
Yeah. I always feel like it's the energy of it. Yeah, fair enough. Like, it didn't mean nothing, but what energy are you giving out? What energy are you putting out to the world? You're essentially saying, I'm okay with this type of behavior. Yeah. And let's be honest, right? If the roles were reversed, it would be chaos. You would not be okay with your man coming home dancing up on Nicki Minaj or Beyonce, whoever, Rihanna, any of those. You would not be like, yeah, boo, you go get. You would not be like that. I'm sorry, you wouldn't. You instead would be kicking off and throwing everything under the sun to make your man feel bad, so that he would have to grovel. And, you know, in this day and age, you'd probably try and get something out of him for it if you didn't dump him. Because let's be honest, the reality is that's probably not going to happen. So it's just interesting. I just think it's super interesting that people are this way.
It's foul, man. Red card.
It's a red card. And I think that's the thing as well. Like, you know, people who live in this realm of like, oh, flirting is okay. It didn't lead to anything. Oh, you're just window shopping. Da 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 da. Like, these are all weird concepts. I'm sorry, because, you know, if you're
you shouldn't even be in them positions.
You shouldn't
justify it.
You shouldn't put yourself in those positions. You shouldn't be anywhere that you have to justify a situation. Words of "it's just a dance," "it's only flirting," those things, you know, shouldn't be things that are coming out of your mouth. They shouldn't, because, you know, again, it's the energy that you're giving out, and if you're opening yourself up to this energy, then what happens? Like, you know, when that door's open a little bit and someone flirts with you and you flirt back with them and it escalates. It's not just flirting then, is it? It's gone somewhere. And, you know, by opening those doors and saying, oh, it's just a dance, it's just flirting, it's just a bit of this, it's just a bit of that, you're creating space for more to happen. Mm-hmm. And if you're okay with creating space for more to happen, then that tells me you're not serious about your relationship and you don't respect it. You essentially are saying, it is what it is. I'll take what's available. I'll take what comes to me.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
The opportunity arises, so I took it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be mad about it because it didn't mean anything. I still love you, and I didn't mean it like that. Oh, right, okay. You tripped, fell, and landed on his dick. but you didn't
Like
mean it.
it's just
Do you know what I mean?
different level of
Yeah.
emasculation.
And then from the guy's side, he did everything right.
Yeah, I agree.
Like power to you. Some men would have stayed with the chick because they're fucking pussy whipped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They ain't got the balls to be like, fuck you, actually. No, you're a dickhead.
Like you could just never. Like how
Like,
was
disrespect.
it? I feel sad for him that he even had to go through that and like that it went viral because
the thing is, everyone he knows has seen it.
Yeah,
that's
like
so embarrassing.
Exactly, like the
so
violation for him.
I don't know what I'd be angry about more: the fact my girl cheated, or the fact that it went viral and everyone saw it. Like I just would not ever go out in public again for like a year.
Yeah, you just have to like change your hair.
Because you've just been known as the guy that had the girl that danced up on Chris Brown and you dumped her. You have to quit spitting and change your name.
It really do. It really gets like that, you know.
Telling you.
There was another video that I saw where, like, there was a woman on a raft in Jamaica and she was getting like clay put on her by the man, and her boyfriend started recording. He's like running down to the raft. He's like, "Yo, yo, yo, what's going on here? What's going? Like, stop! Like, why are you doing that? That's my job. Like, I'm the one who massages my girl's butt and legs, etc., etc." And he's like, "I'm just doing my job, man." And girl turns to say, "He's just doing his job, honey." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. He slapped your booty. I saw that. He's rubbing all up on your ass. Like, hell no." And this girl, like, you can see in her face, she thinks it's hilarious, but like, she's not laughing. But there's like little micro movements on her face where she's like trying not to smile. You can see it, and she's like, "Babe, there's one for you too. It comes with the raft. Like, the lady will do you. There's a lady for you." And it's like some old auntie. He's like gonna do, and he's like, "No, no, I don't want none of that. Like, get up, get up. How did you even get down here so fast? You were up there with me for like 2 seconds ago, and you've like rushed down to this raft. You're on a raft getting clay all over your bum and legs. Hell no." And then he was like, "So this is why you wanted to come to Jamaica. No wonder you'd be begging me to take you to Jamaica, and this is what you really wanted to get done so you can tell your homegirls back home." And you know, she was reluctant to get up. She like red card. She was so reluctant to get up. She was like trying to argue back with him, like, "It's his job. But come with the raft." And he's like, "Hell no, get up." And he recorded it because he knew it was wrong and he knew it was a violation. But like, whether he dumped her or not, I don't know. But he should have, because that's just silly. She's taking the piss out of you, mate. She's gotten you to take her on holiday to a place so she can get another man to rub up on her. No,
Mazza.
Wild.
That's just, the state of the world. It's a mad place at the minute.
It's just so wild. Like, how did we get here?
A lot of destruction of culture, destruction of families, destruction
relationships,
of religion, relationships, future prospects, freedoms. I think it all boils down to a lot of people are very lost. They don't believe in anything.
And I feel like the lines are very blurred as to what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And I feel like people don't have boundaries.
Yeah. There's this culture of like, get that bag, you go, girl. Yeah, we can do everything you can do. Yeah, go, lads. You got this.
Empowerment.
Like from both sides. It's like we're encouraging people to be degenerates.
Yeah.
We're encouraging people to do fucked up shit.
Yes.
We're encouraging people to like.
It's almost like when you were in high school and apparently it was cool to smoke.
Yeah.
It's like that, but on a bigger level.
Smoking like.
Yeah.
This is
Which is stupid. I've never smoked a cigarette, but like I know that that's just not tasty. I've smelt it.
It's really not.
Awful. And the fact that people were trying to convince you it's cool and it's gone like that. And now I feel like this is the same level. It's just different shit that people have convinced you is cool and it's a good thing to do, like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, like do this drug, do that, do this, get your booty rubbed by an ex-man. It's okay to go on stage and dance with another man. It's just flirting. Flirting's not harmful.
Harmless flirting. All flirting is harmful.
It's going
if
somewhere.
You're in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It's going somewhere. Like you don't flirt. Like go flirt with your partner if you want to do it so much. Like
some people are just like desperate for attention as well, isn't it?
There is that. Require that daily validation from another man. Yeah.
Like my man loves me and everything, but like, what about other men?
Yeah.
Like, I need to know that I'm wanted by other men. Like I'm not just content with this guy that will do everything for me. I need other men to tell me they like me too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Mad one.
Interesting. Let's see where it goes.
But that's the crack.
That's the crack.
That's the crack.
That's the crack. Got him.